In the last episode, I showed you how to rig the text composition and the element 3D and the group into a whole new null. And in this episode, I want to show you some other options to do that, because, you know, I just want to show you all the options out there and you guys can actually choose what you want to use. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this master null. Okay, so now we deleted that and we still have this group null over here. I'm actually going to also release my text comp from its being grouped to the master null, so I'm going to go on none. All right, and I'm also going to release the light from that master group, because in this episode I want to show you how to create the whole animation with the camera and not with the null. I'm also going to just a second, I'm going to also realign my object. So I'm going to go to the null and then click U and disable this rotation. So now we have the text and the object in the same place. I want to make sure they are aligned, so I'm going to go to the top, all right, and then see if I can align them properly. So let's see that this is my text layer over here. Yeah, I'm going to push it back on Z space, kind of like that. Let's go to the top, to the active camera, and see. Yeah, and then I'm also going to go back to the top, and I'm going to the text layer and pressing R on the keyboard, and I'm going to just rotate that to make sure it's aligned to my object. So I'm thinking something like that. Go back to my I'm actually going to go to my camera, to my active camera, and then I'm also going to kind of scooch it like that. Just make sure it's like this. And then now what we're actually going to do is we're going to create a different animation. We're actually going to create the same animation, but we're going to use the camera for that. So to do that, what I'm actually going to do is, again, I'm going to create a null to control my camera. So let's do that. I'm going to go to layer, new, and then I'm going to go to null object. And this one I'm going to call camera null. And now I'm going to just put it on top of the camera to make sure everything is okay, and then I'm going to parent the camera to the null. And now you can see that whatever I do to the camera, or, well, first off we have to create the null in the 3D space, so make it 3D. And now if I click R and go to my Y rotation, you can see that right now we are rotating the camera and everything is moving in conjunction with that. So because we are moving in space, everything is moving, and because, well, basically the objects are not moving, only the camera is moving. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's create our first animation. What we're actually going to do is we're going to create an animation, and I'm thinking that the first kind of 5 seconds are going to be that animation. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to my camera null. Again, I'm going to click R on the keyboard, press R on the keyboard. I'm going to just push this like that all the way. Okay, I'm also going to hit C on the keyboard to just realign my camera. So I'm going to put it like that. And also I'm just going to make sure my light, this light over here, is kind of a little bit more behind my object. So I'm going to just go to the light, and then I'm going to maybe push it like this. Yeah, something like that. And now what I want to do is I want to create a keyframe for the Y rotation, and then I'm going to bring that maybe somewhere like that, so around 1 second and a little bit. And now I'm going to push this, so we have this rotation, something like that. Okay, and now we have these two keyframes, and you can see that our objects are being basically rotated. The objects are not rotated, the camera is rotating. I'm going to move my resolution to third to make it easier on my system. So now we have this. Okay, and what I want to do is basically from here I'm going to create another keyframe, or you know what, even better, I'm actually going to create another null object. So go to layer, new, and then null object over here. And this one is going to be the, let's call it R for rotation camera. Make it 3D, and parent the camera null to it. And I'm just doing that because I want to make sure that the animation doesn't really stop abruptly. It kind of has a little bit more motion to it after the keyframe ends. So I'm going to show my camera null keyframes by clicking U on the keyboard. And then I'm going to go maybe here, somewhere like that. And I'm going to just go to the R camera, to the rotation of the camera, click R, and now I'm going to just maybe push it a little bit more. So create a keyframe here, and then I'm going to just put that on maybe just a little bit, just move it back a little bit. So maybe something like that. So what we have is these two keyframes, and then we have just a little bit more motion. So you can see these two keyframes are for the camera null, and then these last keyframes over here are kind of giving it, it's not really stopping abruptly. And that is going to make everything easier for us. And then we can put whatever text we want to put on that. So let's just go into the text comp and let's write, let's click on that and just write professional color presets, and click out of there. Now I'm thinking that I need to get another font, so maybe I just download this font from the Adobe systems. So yeah, maybe this one, and I'm thinking maybe, no, sorry, this one. And then what I want to do is I want to make the upper layer a little bit bigger, so maybe something like that. And then I also want to make this, the distance between the two layers, a little bit smaller, so maybe something like that. And now let's go back to our main animation, and you can see that everything changed really easily. So we have that professional color presets, and basically by here the animation is going to be stopped. So maybe we move this keyframe to about 4 seconds. And now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab this layer, the R camera, the camera null, and the camera, and the text comp, and I'm going to trim all of them. So I'm actually going to press Alt and the right square bracket, and I'm going to trim them all. And you can see that once I do that, everything kind of disappears. But don't worry about that, because what we are going to do right now is we're going to duplicate. And for that, first off, I want to move the element 3D layer to the top, because I want everything to be nice and tidy. And now I'm going to select all of them and press Command D, and I'm going to duplicate them. And now I'm going to push all that to the top here and move this to the side. And now you can see that now we have this text layer. Okay, we have everything that has to do with this animation is here, and now we have that animation again. But what I want to do now is I want to create a different animation, and then for that I need to kind of manipulate or change all the keyframes that we have here. And if I just handle the keyframes here, I'm going to create a whole different animation. But before I do that, I just want to show you something, because remember, we just made 2 instances of text comp 1. And now what will happen is that, let's say here we want to say free download. So if we go over here and just click that and write free download and click out of this, now everything is going to be changed into free download, okay? Because these are actually 2 instances of the same composition. So what we want to do is we want to revert, press Command Z to undo, or Command Z to undo. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the project window, click on the text comp, and then click or press Command D to duplicate. And now we have text comp 2. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to get this instance, instead of using the same text comp 1, I want that to use text comp 2, and to just swap them really easily. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this layer, press Alt on the keyboard and then just drop this here. And now you can see that this has changed to text comp 2. Now if I go into text comp 2 and I change that to free download, click out of that and go back to the main animation, you can see that here we have professional color presets and here we have free download. All right, so that's kind of pretty easy. But now I want to, make the animation look a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the camera rotation null. I'm going to disable the keyframes. I am going to go to my camera null. Okay, and I'm going to also disable the keyframes for that. And now I am going to go into my camera settings and use the camera tools, and I want to move this here. Okay, and then maybe I want to do the animation that starts from a different angle. So again, camera null, I am going to just show my rotation properties by clicking R on the keyboard, and then I'm going to do this, or maybe kind of something like that. Okay, I'm going to create a keyframe, go all the way maybe here, and then rotate that, something like that. And then I'm going to go to my R camera 2, and over here again press R to reveal the rotation properties. I'm going to go to the beginning and I'm going to maybe click to create a keyframe and then go all the way here and kind of push it just a little bit more, so we have the same effect but in reverse. Now if you're asking yourself what about the text comp, you are right. We're actually going to just go into the text comp and just move that. So go to the text comp, and then what you just need to do is you want to grab this X handle over here. Let me show you that. You see you have the Y, Z and X, so you want to grab the text handle for the X and just move that somewhere like that. Okay, and now if we zoom out, you can see that we have this animation like that, and then we have that animation like this. Okay, now I'm thinking we can do the text, the free download real bigger. So maybe kind of scale it up, reposition that, and then move this, yeah, something like this. So now we have first animation and then the second animation, and you can see that after the two keyframes over here stop, so after the two keyframes over here for the camera null, they stop. We still have a little bit more rotation because of the other null that we created. You can see that, and also here. And also what I want to do, just to make everything less complicated, because it is getting lots and lots of layers, what I want to do is I want to go to my camera and maybe change the color for that. So let's go to orange for camera and do that here also. Right click, orange for camera, and I'm thinking that the nulls for the camera I want to make orange also, so I know everything that has to do with the camera is orange. And also here right click that and orange, and like this we have the two parts of the animation, and we are using two different text comps. And you can see that right now, easily off the bat, if you would have to just manipulate the text from here, if you don't know After Effects, that could be a little bit confusing. But you basically, the only thing you need to do is just go over here, just click that, and you can edit the text over here. Click that, you can edit the text over here, and that would easily just like that reapply itself to the whole composition. All right, so basically this is how we create the first two instances of the animation. And now in the next episode we are going to continue to edit and create our commercial, so join me there.